So the stakes are going to be even higher as we move into the final episode for Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2, because there's going to be a twist with Tariq trial, with Brayden stepping up to testify, but will he snitch? Now he's held it down so far, and I'd like to think he's going to hold it down again. But what did he say on the stand for Drew to have his gun pointed right in Brayden's direction? Or at least it looks like Brayden, or possibly even his brother Trace Weston. But all is fair in love and war. But will Tariq find out what Effie did with Lauren? And is she even dead? Because they never showed her being killed on screen. But with Mecca and Monet, does Mecca know something's up? Because he definitely seems a little hesitant in the trailer. But whatever Monet's big plan is to take Mecca down, she's not going to be able to do it alone. She's going to need Cane and Tariq as well, because it definitely won't be easy to bring someone like Mecca down, who's well protected and dangerous himself. And let's not forget, a global snitch. But episode 9 is crunch time for a lot of our characters, so in this video we're going to break down the meaning behind Tariq's words and what's about to go down in episode 10. Now last week we spoke about a fair fight, which we saw play out in Tariq's hallucination scene and throughout episode 9. But this week it's all fair in love and war, and the concept behind this is, sometimes in life people don't exactly follow the usual rules and do things that are unfair. For example, Effie got rid of Lauren because she wants Tariq, and because she was also a snitch who caught Brayden and Cane on a wire. But all's fair in love and war, so that's one example, and you really can't blame others for acting in their best interests, because nothing is ever fair, and this can be broken up into two: war and love. Now with war, there are several key elements, for example lying, snitching, selling out people, for example the goat of snitches, Dante Spears. But when you add love, you can leave a wake of bodies and mess in pursuit of this love. Again, for example Dante Spears, with how he killed his own soldiers, Nuff and the chef, for his bigger plan to work. Or for example how Effie had to get rid of Lauren, because all is fair in love and war. And as Tariq said in the trailer, we do whatever it takes for love, and we'll do whatever it takes for power. So that's some background and context into what we can expect and what we can continue to see play out next week with Tariq's words around love, war and power. So with that being said, let's talk about Tariq and Effie in a bit more detail, because Tariq really does need to watch his back, because even though there couldn't be any loose ends, and even though Lauren did wear the wire, Tariq knows that she was manipulated by Carrie, and she was lied to, and this was revealed to Tariq by Cooper Sachs. Now Lauren got caught up in the middle of Carrie's agenda, and it really is Carrie's fault that Lauren found herself in this position that she did, and this is why Tariq did everything that he could do to protect Lauren. And even though he was angry about her recording him on the wire and not telling him about her being pulled in by the cops, it was never his intention for her to get caught up in his double life, because he knows what happens to those who do. He still has a guilty conscience for many of them, except Ray I would say, because he definitely deserved what he got. But in trying to protect Lauren, first he got Carrie to take the stand instead of Lauren, and then he told her to disappear. Very much ghost-like with how instead of dealing with Maria Suarez, he gave her some money and told her to disappear. But there was always going to be some consequences for Tariq and losing loved ones, because they said a few times, this is the game. So when Effie found out that she recorded Brayden and Cane, she knew what had to be done, but it does have to be said, we never saw the death on screen. So can we confirm that Lauren is dead? I don't think so. But now that Lauren isn't in the picture, whether she's dead or skipped town, what will this do with Tariq and Effie's relationship? Effie tells him that he's not alone, but this relationship is complex on so many levels. Effie is just looking out for herself, and you could tell with the move that she pulled with Lauren, and she may even have a bigger plan in play, who knows? And with that being said, let's talk about Brayden, because Tariq's court case is still an ongoing issue, but something which I do think will come to an end in episode 10, either ending in a mistrial or someone else taking the fall, because we do see Tariq moving freely with a piece later on in the trailer, and he can't do this if he still has the ankle monitor around his ankle. But we're going to talk about this later on in the video, because this case is about to take another twist. Even though Trey said in episode 9 that he's happy to take the stand, all of a sudden we're about to see Brayden walk through the door. Now in episode 9, we saw Rashad Tate helping Tariq when he blew up the prosecution with how they were hiding evidence that there were two people involved in the Jabari murder, which Kamal Tate let slip. And he was repaying the favor that Tariq did for him when he gave him the picture of Rick Sweeney and Brayden's dad. But why is Brayden taking the stand? Is it to get back at Tariq because of the blowback from the photo being made public, which Tate gave to Stephen Ott, causing some real damage to his dad and the Western name? Or is Brayden just simply protecting his brother Trace, because he very well knows what happens to snitches in this game? And what Trace said in episode 9 was facts, but he knows too much about Cane Ramirez, and he can connect a lot of dots, and that's dangerous. Especially if Cane was to find out about what Trace said in this scene, We all know Cane would tell Brayden to cut his brother's water off, especially because of what Cane told him to do to Lauren, and he knows Effie wasn't playing games either. And with Brayden's character being described as loyalty, he's going to be towing the fine line between protecting his family and protecting Tariq. So let's see what choice he makes, because let's not forget, he has been given immunity if he does talk, and Jenny Sullivan gave him a card if he changes his mind. But Brayden has so far proved he is loyal and he's not a snitch, so I do hope it does stay this way. But the same can't be said about Trace. I really don't have a good feeling about his character because of what he knows and what he's already said. So I do think he's going to talk his way into catching a hot one, and it's either Brayden or Trace on the floor in my opinion, when Drew has his gun pointed in their direction, and Drew knows there can't be any loose ends. He's learned this from Lorenzo already, but it seems like Cane is going to stop him just before he pulls the trigger, so let's wait and see who this is. But I do think Trace, he's a dead man walking, and if he is going to die, I really do hope it is Brayden who kills his own brother. But coming to Drew again, we also saw Lorenzo telling him, "Are you ready to do this?" And Drew's down, and we've already started to see a real turn in his character. We start to see this vicious, angry, and savage come out of Drew, and he's also someone who told Lorenzo that he can trust him, and he did prove it when he got Lorenzo's rear back from Tariq. But what are these two planning now? Because it is important to remember that Lorenzo still doesn't know that Mecca is Dante, but I do think he will find out in episode 10, because it is one of a very few secrets that is left that needs to be revealed, which will just spice up the season finale that much more. And who knows, maybe even bring Lorenzo in on the plan to take down Mecca. So with that being said, let's talk about Mecca and Monet, and what exactly is Monet's plan, because I'm sure all of us have gathered, even though Monet and Cane said that they're on board with his exit plan, and they want Mecca to kill Lorenzo, that is definitely not the plan that Monet has in her mind. But we see her asking Dante, why is he backing out now? And his response was, we need to be careful. So she's definitely got a bigger plan up her sleeve, but it's going to take more than just Cane and Monet to make this work. Monet will need Tariq's help, and I'm sure this tracker may come in hand when Mecca wants to track down Tariq. But will Mecca have a counter? As Davis McLean said, he's dangerous, he's well protected, and he's also a snitch. So it's going to be hard to bring someone like Mecca down, but not impossible. Monet, Cane, and Tariq, and maybe more, they just need to work together. As we hear Monet telling Cane, it's either him or me. And then we hear Tariq telling Cane, after this, he's never going to be the same again. And what's Tariq talking about he's never going to be the same? What did Cane say? Because one thing that springs to mind is Tariq saying he'll never be the same again. He's talking about killing his father Ghost, but Cane definitely won't be killing Lorenzo. They're going to be going after Mecca, and we're going to see Tariq and Cane on their demon shit working together, pieces in hand. And how is this all going to end? Who's going to catch the bodies? And will Monet succeed with her plan with taking down Mecca? Of course, only time will tell, but with him being this global and goat of snitches, I do think he will meet his fate. But elsewhere, even though we never saw it in the trailer, what's going to happen with Ev? Because he's also another loose end that needs to be dealt with. And if Tariq's trial is coming to an end, whether it be a mistrial or someone else going down, will he finally get his phone call to Tasha? And is this something we'll hear in episode 10? This has been teased ever since episode 1 and again in episode 6, and something McLean said to hold off on until they get paid, of course. But now that Tariq is going to have 2 million coming in from the snitch, he's going to be able to pay Davis McLean. So let's see whether he gets his phone call to Tasha. And that's the breakdown for episode 9's trailer, so drop all your thoughts down below for Love and War, the final episode for Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2, which has just kept on getting better and better, and no doubt episode 10 is not going to disappoint either. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Is the writing on the wall for Mecca, and will Monet succeed in taking him down? Drop all your comments down below, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.